Alright guys, let's talk about Ark Survival Ascended and whether it's worth it to purchase. Now the purchase price is $40.49. It's gonna be $44.99. So is it worth the money? Or more importantly, is it worth the time it takes to download basically 80 gigabytes of data? Now, there's quite a bit that you need to consider on here. First, let's talk about the requirements of the game. Now, as far as the system requirements, they want you to have Windows 10 or 11 higher, processor of an i7 or above, or a Ryzen 5, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and then the graphics card I use in the video, so 1080 or higher. And you need at least 70 gigs of storage, and that's not true. And you also need an SSD storage, so if you had a regular storage, it won't work. Recommended, they recommend 32 gigabytes of RAM, and then a RTX of 3080 or above. So the 3090 is the higher ones, and then the other stuff's the same. Now compare that to Ark Survival Evolved, that only required Windows 7 or 8 because that's when they came out. So most people have 10 or 11 now, and an Intel Core 5 or more. So 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then the NVIDIA GTX 670. Look at the difference: 670 to a 1080 or a 3080. So 60 gigabytes of RAM. That's way more than that too. And then broadband internet for multiplayer. That's how old it is. So basically, many people aren't going to have the requirements it takes to run this game. So all it basically is a Re-Skinned Ark Survival Evolved. It's in a little bit of optimization. They need to fix some of this. Here's my computer. I have an Intel Core i7, 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's an MSI laptop. Now my NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. So I don't have the 3090, the newer, higher ones, but I have a pretty high one. So this is a good graphics card that I run on this game, and as you can see, I'm running around on medium right now, and I'm going to show you guys the different settings in a minute. So at medium, I'm getting 30 to 60 frames per second. So that's about as good as I can get, but it looks eerily similar to Ark Survival Evolved at this frame rate and this medium graphics. I get crashed a lot. Here's another crash the screen I get quite often. It's really annoying. So the game crashes constantly. I got a video out on talking about that too. The metal right now is not responding. If you harvest metal nodes, you won't see them again. So hopefully they'll fix that eventually, but right now it's not great. Now I like the game, don't get me wrong, I do like it, but it's basically the island going back to when it first came out. You know, no tech items, no cryopods, no nothing like that. So all these things that people appreciate in Ark Survival Evolved, all the mods and everything, even though they're mods now, it's really glitchy. So now here's another problem with this: a death marker. I have a death marker on the map, and I can't get rid of it. So I can hover over and get rid of it, but it stays on the map. So there's no way to get rid of that. That is freaking annoying. I'm glad they have a death marker. I'm pissed off that you can't get rid of it. And also there's no P, there's no markers on the map, there's no way to mark it, there's no way to move the map. You see I'm just kind of stationary. You can't see the grids, you can see it at the bottom, but they don't have the grids. It's pretty annoying. So the map part I just absolutely hate. So just so you guys know, the map thing sucks big time. You can see I keep showing it in and out. You can't move it, man. I'm trying to move it all kind of ways. Somebody keeps, do this to me. No, you can't move it. You can scroll in and out. You can't move the map. And there's no P markers, and you can't get rid of that death marker on the map. I've even gone into the game user inning and wiped it out, and it still is there. So let's talk about another thing that's pretty cool, but also very annoying to consider when you're thinking about whether you want to buy this game or not. Let's look at the trackers now. They have some trackers that they've added in here. So we're going to go to the Dino trackers, which is the fourth tab up there, and then you can see you can look at all your tames. So I can see all tames. And at the right side, there's groups. Now, if you click a group, I've added some dinos to a group. To do the group whistles where you just want to whistle certain groups, it doesn't work because it will not hold the group. So if I close this out and I reopen it, now watch. Now I'm going to show you guys. We're going to reopen the tab and just looking at that stupid Diplo over there. Let's reopen that tab and let's look at that group. I am no longer on that group. The group is gone. So if you thought you were holding a group, you're whistling all. You're whistling everything. And another thing, the attack my target whistle doesn't work. It sets them to aggressive. So, but you see on the left side, this is some pretty cool stuff. You can track different things. You can track high level. You can track low health. You can track things that yours that are flyers, water dinos. I mean, that's pretty cool. And if you close that out, that will stay. So if you want to track tames in progress, if you set it to tames in progress and you come back, I've noticed that it doesn't stay on that one. So it stays on most of them, but it won't stay. Like I have the water dinos. Let's close this out and see. Let's open it back up and see if the water dinos is still there. And I didn't show you guys, but it was. Sorry about that. So we're going to go forward a little bit. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the actual map. And I'm going to show you guys changing the graphics. So I'm in the settings and I'm in the video settings. And we're going to tweak this a little bit. And I'm going to show you guys why you may not want to get this game if you don't have a high-end, super expensive, super high-tech computer, right? So I'm setting everything to high here. We're just setting it all to high, not epic. Because I think my computer would just blow up if I tried to set it to epic. Now, when I set it to high, instantly my frame rate dropped to about 8. I was getting about 8 to 10 frames per second. That's horrible. You see the glitch? You can see the shakiness of it. That's not the recording. That's the actual game. My computer is like freaking out because it's like, what are you trying to do to us? I can't handle these kind of graphics. And I don't think many people can. So, I mean, I'm glad they went to this and tried to do it. But look at the dinos. They don't look any different to me. They're Ark Survival Evolved dinos. They're supposed to be reskinned and better. They look the same. All they changed was the water, the trees, and a bunch of rocks everywhere, and how the underwater looks a little bit. But I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you guys that they didn't change everything. So now I just changed it to medium. So as you can see, when I switched it to medium, some of the things stayed high. So we're going to test it out on this level and see what happens. Let's bump it in. Let's go back in the game. Let's resume. And as you can see, it changed a little bit the way it looks, and it picked up the frames about 21 to 30 frames per second is what I'm getting. So it kind of worked a little bit better. So if you're okay with super low frame rate, 21 to 30, I mean, you could keep it on these settings, and it looks pretty good. But it's still Ark. I mean, it's just Ark Survival Evolved with a bunch of rocks in the way, no flat areas to build. Everything is like sloped and messed up. There's a bunch of things in the way where I used to build. Like I know of several spots on here where I built before. You can't build there now because they're all messed up. Underwater's all messed up. I'm trying to make a water pen. I can't find an area that's big enough for me to do that either. Just a lot of things that they changed that really screwed things up. So now we're going to go in here. We're going to flip a couple of things, okay? So we're going to go down and we're going to change some of these highs to medium because they didn't change them for me. So I'm going to automatically change them. And it's going to change the thing up top as custom, right? So then you see I just changed 2 of them to medium, and we're going to resume this, and we're going to check it out and to see if anything really drastically changed. And it's still about 21:30, so about 25:30 maybe. So I'm running about the same. I'm just flying around showing you guys a little bit of what it looks like. So mostly medium, but not much of a difference. So let's take a break because I have some of it to high. Let me show you guys underwater. If you haven't seen anybody do the underwater stuff, this is kind of what it looks like. And this is not what it looked like before. There's a bunch of things they added from other maps, previous maps, like the DLCs and stuff. They just took some of that, incorporated it in here, and changed the underwater. It looks pretty cool. I did a couple of videos, and I'll post them later. I mean, swimming around underwater. So, but let's change the frames again. I mean, the graphics in the video again. We're going to go down here, and we're going to leave textures high, and we're going to change this last one down here at the bottom to medium. So we're going to just do one thing at high, and that's textures. Textures is a big part of how things look, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So we're going to change this. We're going to resume this, and we're just textures. The frame rate went up to about 35, hanging around 35, 36, 37, something like that. It changes a little bit. The water still looks kind of cool. The trees, you can see a big difference in the tree when I turn that last one off. You see, if you're looking at them from a distance, you can see how they kind of almost cartoony looking now. So yeah, that's just how you got to play it. I mean, so Ark Survival Evolved, called Ark Ascended is what it's called. So let's change this last one. We're going to flip this last one to medium. We're going to do all medium. Everything is going to be medium here. And that makes that top one custom, because if you do medium, it won't do it. Their presets are some of them high. So we're going to resume the game. And there we go. We're flying around with everything set to medium. Nothing is low. And this bumped the frame rate to 50 to 60. So that's an okay frame rate. It's pretty good. I don't mind playing it like this, but it looks like Ark Survival Evolved. That's all I gotta say, man. It's a reskinned version of it, and it looks pretty much so. If you don't want to waste your money on something that's pretty much the same game, they did add some new dinos, some new build structures. That stuff's cool, but man, it's the same game. I've been playing Ark Survival Evolved since the second year after it came out. It came in 2015. I've been playing 2016. So what's that, 4, 5, 6, 7 years now I've been playing that game, and it's pretty much the same. So there you go, guys. Just a little map of whether it's worth it or not, price-wise, storage-wise, Can your computer handle it? That kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. If it was, please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time.